Sports Professor Rick Horrow, Beyond the Scoreboard. Serious show that doesn't take itself too seriously, but it is the trillion-dollar business of sports heading to Thanksgiving week. Time to be charitable, time to be positive. We'll cover most of that next week. The English Premier League, already one of the most lucrative sports leagues in the world. Bottom feeder teams making more annually than some top teams in other global soccer leagues. They're about to get richer. The EPL clubs just received the green light to sell sleeve sponsorships on game jerseys, which could bring up to about $12.5 million more per season. The proposal put forward by clubs to league execs agreed on a couple of weeks ago. The sponsorships valued about 20% of each respective club's main shirt deal. That's for the sleeve. And for Man U, the kit deal with Chevy, about $70 million annually. A sleeve, maybe $14 million per year. Internationally as well, but with baseball as the theme, the World Baseball Classic released its schedule for the early March global tournament. The tournament committee says 4 pools will compete in a round-robin format in 4 different countries. Speaking of baseball, but in other context, we've had Pat O'Connor of Minor League Baseball on, but how about this? The AAA Pacific Coast League New Orleans Zephyrs becoming the New Orleans Baby Cakes, nod to the Louisiana Mardi Gras heritage, and the company that markets and creates names. How about these for some of the folks? The AA Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, the AA Binghamton Rumble Ponies, the single A Florida Fire Frogs, and the single A East Wood Ducks. So the most important issue is baseball alive and well internationally, minor league baseball all over the map, soccer as well. We have an interesting show from the perspective of venues as well as teams. We have a couple of people who are very important in the long-term development of facilities. Chris Granger, president of the Sacramento Kings, and talking about the new Golden One Arena. And Jordan Solomon, who's senior vice president of Madison Square Garden, gives us some perspective about what the Garden has done in its renovation as far as doing an iconic change to an existing venue for the good of all of New York. Rick Horrow, sports professor, Beyond the Scoreboard. Be back in a couple of minutes.
Complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number.
Call 877-499-MY-TV.
The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. So cancel the cable and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money.
Call 877-499-MY-TV.
Right now to sign up for packages starting as low as $24.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $24.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card.
Call 877-499-MY-TV. That's 877-499-MY-TV.
Cancel the cable, cut costs, and get more.
Call now, 877-499-MY-TV. That's 877-499-MY-TV.
Rebuild or replace transmission, $3,200. Anti-lock brake system, $1,000. Rebuild or replace engine, $2,400. Truth is, once your manufacturer's warranty runs out, it's all on you. Every last cent. Get protection for covered repairs with a vehicle service contract from Toco Warranty. Unlike other companies, with Toco, there's no down payment, and the monthly payments are really affordable. Not sure how long you're keeping your car? At Toco, you can pay as you go. Keep your hard-earned cash and call Toco Warranty right now at 800-222-2313 to save big money on covered auto repairs. Prices vary by vehicle, but for about the cost of a tank of gas per month, a Toco plan has your back on expensive covered car repairs. Monthly payments are very affordable. Get your free quote now. Call Toco at 800-222-2313. That's 800-222-2313. 800-222-2313. Cancellation fee may apply. Subject to eligibility. Not available in Missouri and Washington. Waiting period and deductible apply. Coverage provided and administered by Warrantech Corporation or its affiliates. Not affiliated with any manufacturer or dealership. Visit TocoWarranty.com for complete terms and conditions.
This is Carrie Cooper for Guitar Centre's Focus on Rock. Shop for the greatest music gear on earth at GuitarCenter.com. When you think of Dee Snider's Twisted Twisted Sister, what comes to mind? Rebellion, tongue-in-cheek humour, raucous hair metal guitars, blue eyeshadow and the rocking 80s perhaps? Well, recently Dee reworked one of his songs as a beautifully stark and touching piano ballad, turning his best-loved record into a powerful tool for a very important cause. Join me over at focusonrock.com for the full story about the helping hand of the new We're Not Gonna Take It.
This Black Friday weekend, Guitar Center is your best gift ever center. With doorbuster deals like a Taylor Swift signature acoustic pack with a Taylor guitar, bag, and songbook for just $2.99. A Gemini 15-inch loudspeaker pack with stand and microphone for $149. Or a Yamaha portable keyboard, just $69. Save up to 40% on gear in every department. And go to GuitarCenter.com to download your money-saving coupon now. Doors open Friday at 6 a.m. Black Friday weekend at Guitar Center, in-store and online.
Sports Professor Rick Horrow, Beyond the Scoreboard, the serious show that doesn't take itself too seriously. We have some very interesting different perspectives on arenas and all the people and teams that play in them on two coasts in the United States. The first one, Golden One Arena in Sacramento, California. Chris Granger, the head of the Sacramento Kings, he cut his teeth at Disney and at the NBA special events, can certainly give you some perspective on what the new arena does for the Kings as well as the economy of Sacramento. Chris Granger.
We've got a whole bunch of different perspectives on the trillion-dollar business of sports. We've had owners, we've had executives, we've had players, we've had mayors. We have somebody now that has morphed from a guy at various management positions at the Walt Disney Company, London School of Economics, Cornell, MBA from Yale, as a Harvard guy. I guess we've got to squeeze that in there somewhere. So then he's Walt Disney Company, he goes to the NBA, and now he's basically running for Vivek Ranadive and his people, the Sacramento Kings, as president COO. How's that for an intro? Chris Granger.
Very nice of you. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. So you're pretty busy. Sacramento went from, frankly, a kind of middle market team. It still is, but when you look at the Forbes numbers, it's ranked number 19. It's kind of right in there. But what does an arena do, Golden One, and the opening of that arena? It's an incredible building, incredible downtown development opportunity. What does an arena do to the economics of where the Kings stand today and in the future?
Well, I mean, Golden One Center it's bigger than basketball. As we've said all along, the fight and the ultimate win to keep the Kings in Sacramento, Vivek leading what's ultimately a $1 billion investment into downtown Sacramento between Golden One Center and about 1.5 million square feet of mixed-use development, restaurants, bars, hotel, condos, retail stores. I mean, this is a catalyst for a new Sacramento. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Like, it's a new day here in Sacramento. So I think that's the most important thing. And then in terms of what it does for the Kings, I mean, obviously we've been playing in an antiquated arena for quite some time now. So to be able to have all of the modern amenities, to have a real interesting and authentic food and beverage program here, to take care of our premium customers in a different way, to take care of our sponsors in a more aggressive way. As you might imagine, it changes our economic fortunes overnight.
Yeah. Chris Granger, obviously the guy that's been involved in implementing Vivek Ranadive's tremendous vision, along with the political folks in Sacramento. So you've had about 250,000 people visit the building thus far. That Kanye West and other major acts as well. You made the statement that it's more than just basketball, which it clearly is. How important is this as a real estate catalyst relative to, let's say, others around the country?
Well, again, I think I won't speak to others, but I'll say for Sacramento, it's huge. Sacramento's downtown was in a dire need of a change in fortune here, and this $1 billion investment, all happening within sort of a 3-year window here, is changing the fortunes for everybody. I mean, even since Golden One has been under construction, there have been 80 new businesses that have opened up downtown. There have been over $500 million in downtown real estate transactions unrelated to our investment in the downtown. We've seen property prices go up by some 30 to 40% in just the last 2 years downtown. So again, it's having the catalytic effect that I think all hoped it would. And then, oh, by the way, I think 80% of everything we've spent on this project has gone to Sacramento area contractors. Over 80% of all the hours worked on this project have gone to Sacramento area workers. So again, I think we've been very purposeful and intentional about where we're spending our money, with the belief that, if we can keep the money in Sacramento, that benefits everybody.
So give me a perspective of the electoral map now that we're all obsessed about that. So you look to your west and you realize that you had a defending champion at least 2 years ago who are building a state-of-the-art facility on the waterfront downtown San Francisco, abandoning Oakland. You see Livermore and you see Martinez and you see Davis and you see Route 80. And its geography, it's an international show, but as far as what the market area looks like, do you view this as a kind of compatible market with two basketball teams from Reno to the Bay Area, or do you see it fighting for every fan and every dollar? If he's not a Kings fan, he's a Warriors fan, and vice versa.
Yeah, this project for us, at the beginning, we want it to be something that celebrates the best of Sacramento and celebrates the best of Northern California. So whether it's the commitment to sustainability, as you know, this is the first LEED Platinum certified sports venue in the world, the only sports venue in the world that gets 100% of its power from the sun. Obviously, we're doing some amazing things from a technology standpoint. The building is a technological marvel. It has as much connectivity in the building as a small city. Obviously, it has an amazing design as well that incorporates the outdoor into the indoor through these just wonderful airplane hangar doors. And we'll be playing the world's first indoor-outdoor basketball games in the NBA here real shortly. So again, I think this project celebrates not just Sacramento, but all of Northern California. And again, we're here to compete, and we're here to compete on a global stage. So yes, we want to get all the fans in Northern California, but we want to do things that attract concerts from around the world. We want to do things that attract the best family shows from around the world, and we want to do things that make this a destination for artists, for players, and for fans alike.
Chris Granger, let's talk about the NBA generally. You are 1/32nd, 1/30th partner in the NBA, and frankly, your other partners are pretty compelling. The average franchise value is about $1.2 billion, tripling over the last 4 years. That's according to Forbes, but nobody wants to discount big numbers. 30 teams with over $5 billion in revenue. You have some advantages because of your owner's Indian connections, but also the whole idea of using the facility and the brand to generate some support internationally as well. How bullish are you as an NBA partner these days?
Oh, off the charts. I think it's the golden age of the NBA that we're enjoying right now. Obviously, the league-wide attendance continues to grow and grow. There are, virtually a quarter of our league right now comes from overseas, and I'm not sure there's a league that is better poised to capture the international marketplace than the NBA. We've said it for a long time. If you're a little kid and you're a soccer player in England, you want to grow up and play in the Premier League. And if you're a little kid in Spain, you want to grow up and play in La Liga. But if you're a little kid anywhere in the world and you want to play professional basketball, there's only one league that matters, and that's the NBA. So we're extremely proud to be a part of this league. As you know, we continue to, with Vivek's influence, play as many international games as we can, whether it's Shanghai or Beijing or Mexico City. Ultimately, we'd like to be the first team to play a preseason game in India. But we're thrilled to be a part of the NBA, and I think Vivek's global ambitions are right in line with those of the commissioner.
Vivek's global ambitions are big. The commissioner's global ambitions are big. Where do we see, and I know you answered part of that question, but where do you see the NBA franchises over the next 15, 20 years? Do you expand across the pond? Do you make the major events in India and Southeast Asia and the like one-off major events? Is it a combination of all that? How do you, if you were waving that magic wand, how do you deal with that issue?
I leave it to the commissioner. But that being said, I think the first step is just continuing to come up with interesting ways for fans around the world to consume our content. So obviously first that started with television deals, and there are some 200-odd television deals in countries across the world right now. But now with the explosion of digital media and with the explosion of virtual reality, I just think there are going to be ways to consume the NBA that don't necessitate having a franchise in your marketplace. And I'm not sure that, having teams in Europe or having teams in South America are required to grow the NBA brand at the rate that we think it can grow. But, to the extent that we continue to take our teams and our game around the world, supported by all these different forms of digital content, I think that's probably the more immediate play for us.
Chris Granger has an interesting perspective on what the arena does and what the development does. Rick Horrow, Beyond the Scoreboard, be back in a minute.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for prescription drugs? Well, we have great news. Now you can finally get prescription drugs at huge discounts from Canada Drug Center. That's right, the most popular drugs for cholesterol, high blood pressure, depression, diabetes, arthritis, and many more are now up to 75% off. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices when you can get brand name drugs at the lowest price? Call today and get up to 75% off all the popular brand name prescription drugs. Never pay high prices again. Get the most popular drugs at huge savings from our Canadian and international pharmacies and fulfillment centers. No insurance? No problem. Prices are so low you do not need benefits or insurance to get all your prescriptions fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting to take your call now. Order today and get free shipping. Just call 800-950-1180. Up to 75% off all the popular brand name prescription drugs and free shipping. Call 800-950-1180. That's 800-950-1180.
$100 million in jury verdicts and settlements for serious injury victims, medical malpractice victims, and surviving family members of wrongful death victims. Trial Lawyers for Justice. This is a firm that does not handle frivolous lawsuits. They go after insurance company money, and they're darn good at it. They don't sell their clients out or settle cheaply. Trial Lawyers for Justice, the firm that goes the distance for you, their client. They treat their clients the way you would want your own family members taken care of. Nicholas Rowley, Dominic Pachota, and the other trial lawyers in the firm at Trial Lawyers for Justice, dedicated to representing the people and their families in Iowa, Minnesota, South Dakota, Wisconsin, Illinois, California, Wyoming, and many other states. Trial Lawyers for Justice. $100 million in settlements and jury verdicts already in 2016. 888-811-0844. TL4J.com. Trial Lawyers for Justice.
Tired of calls, levies, and liens from the IRS or hiring others who don't get the job done? Call Wall & Associates and you'll never talk to the IRS again. The IRS has a program to eliminate tax debt, and Wall & Associates professionals are trained to maximize its benefits for you. You always speak with a live person with real support and real knowledge. We've helped thousands of taxpayers like you settle their tax debt with the IRS for a fraction of what they owe. We solve tax problems. Call Wall & Associates now. 800-480-5708. We have the professionals who know how to solve tax problems. If you owe money to the IRS, your tax problems are not going away by themselves, and the passage of time will only make matters worse. Act now, before it's too late. Call Wall & Associates right now to speak to a professional tax relief agent. Call 800-480-5708. That's 800-480-5708. Again, 800-480-5708.
Sports Professor Rick Horrow, Beyond the Scoreboard, the serious show that doesn't take itself too seriously, on Golden One Arena in Sacramento, California. Chris Granger, the head of the Sacramento Kings.
Baseball, clearly, the have-nots baseball, really key determiner is the local television deal. When you look at the economic rankings, again, outsiders do it, but you see the Knicks and Lakers in 1 and 2 because of their markets, regardless of how they are on the floor. And then you see some of the middle markets. I guess one of the beauties of the middle markets and where you are is Sacramento, you guys, Oklahoma City, Orlando, Utah. You can be very successful, I assume, given the limitations of your market, the way the economic structure of basketball is set up these days. Agree or disagree?
I think that's right. I think that's something that the commissioner and the prior commissioner And all of the owners have been focused on for quite some time, creating a system whereby, if well managed, you can be profitable and compete for a championship. And I think that's the real value of the NBA, is that, the ability to attract players, the ability to be successful on the court, or the ability to turn a profit is not required or is not defined by the size of your market.
You guys are a high-tech, best-in-class. You know what best-in-class is. It's kind of interesting because you were involved directly in the NBA, for lack of a better term, best practices committee when you were there. They had the best group of folks sharing information of any of the major sports, and now you're working with a team, and you guys are out front on technology side of this. Are you frustrated because you can't move fast enough in the technological world, or are you excited because you're ahead of the pack?
No, I think, we're lucky to have Vivek, who's a leader in the tech space, pushing us all the time and introducing us to key players in Silicon Valley and around the world. I think sitting in Northern California, we are, again, lucky to be sitting among all of the policymakers that matter when it comes to sustainability. So I think that gives us an advantage. And then again, I think it's often overlooked, but from a fan experience, food and beverage matters a great deal. And to sit in the middle of one of the more bountiful and diverse agricultural regions in the country, enabling us to source 90% of all of our food and beverage literally from within 150 miles of the arena, I think that gives us an advantage. So, we don't think of being handicapped by the market we're in. We think we have a real edge given our market and given who our owners are.
Great answer, great position. A couple more quickies. First of all, the player side of this stuff, 2011 agreement, the revenue share, everybody talking about December 15 is a D-Day that nobody will get to because people talk about focusing on making sure the deal gets done even before Thanksgiving. Where do you guys stand? Do you think a labor deal will get done sooner than later, and how do you feel about it?
Well, again, we can't really comment on the current state of negotiations, but again, I think everybody knows what's at stake here right now. As we said earlier, this is truly a golden age for the NBA. Our players make, I think they're the highest paid union in the world probably, and our teams are doing well and want to continue this. So I think we're all hopeful that a deal gets done, but we'll see.
And again, it is not fair for you to comment on any of these because you're not supposed to, but I just wanted to make sure we covered all of that, and really good answer as we might expect. Finally, your background, obviously, there's nothing to poke fun at. It's an incredibly diverse background. So, after Cornell and after Yale, the Walt Disney Company and the whole innovation ideas of Disney and spectator facilities, the dominant theme parks. How did working with Disney prepare you or get you in a better position for doing what you're doing today?
It was great. I was just speaking at a luncheon with some of our partners from Kaiser Permanente, and they, like us, work with the Disney Institute in terms of training our own staff as it relates to customer service and creating a common purpose and service standards and so on and so forth. And, again, I was so lucky to start my career at Walt Disney World. I think they just do so much well, whether it's, teaching you the importance of service, teaching you how to turn around difficult service situations, leadership, attention to detail, the importance of process. Again, those are lessons that you can carry with you the rest of your career. And clearly, we're employing some of those things here at Golden One Center and in Sacramento. But again, I can't speak highly enough about my Disney experience.
So 5 years from now, wave the magic wand. Where are the Kings in the pantheon of NBA basketball, given what Golden One Center does for you guys?
Well, again, I think a few things. One, hopefully we've done some interesting things from a sustainability standpoint that other teams mimic and try to follow. As proud as we are of Golden One Center from a tech standpoint, from a food standpoint, from a sustainability or design standpoint, we understand that, we're not going to be the only ones to be LEED Platinum, and we're not going to be the only ones to have an amazingly connected arena. And hopefully other teams can pick our brains and we can share our learnings with others. So hopefully we're a model for others in that regard. And then, again, obviously on the basketball court, our mission is to, first and foremost, to create a winning franchise that enhances the lives of those it touches and makes the world a better place. And it starts with create a winning franchise. So I suspect we're going to continue to make aggressive moves to turn the team around and be competing for a playoff spot in the very near future.
Chris Granger of the Kansas City Omaha. Oh, no, they're the Sacramento Kings. How about that history? What's it feel like to be the only game in town, by the way?
We're very lucky here in Sacramento. Again, everybody knows the story about the team potentially leaving multiple times over the last X number of years, and everybody knows that the team is not here but not for the fans and the amazing support they've provided over the last 30 years and certainly over the last 5 when things looked grim. So we take that relationship extremely seriously, and we certainly understand how fragile that relationship can be. So we do everything we can to make, quote, Sacramento proud. It's not just a tagline for us, it's our calling and our mission. So the things we do in the community are for our fans. We do want to make a difference in Sacramento, and again, we truly appreciate the support that we receive here.
Everybody listen to Chris Granger. It resonates. You listen to people in Memphis and Oklahoma City and Orlando and obviously in Sacramento, and they get what it means to be the big game in town and take advantage of that.
Chris Granger has an interesting perspective on what the arena does and what the development does. Now let's hope the Kings do a little better on the court. Next up, we travel east to Madison Square Garden. We are at one of the iconic buildings in the world, even before the renovation. It's not a renovation. It's a transformation. Sorry, even before the transformation. The bottom line is Madison Square Garden. It takes its place, again, as one of the iconic buildings all over the world, and we have the opportunity to talk about the inside of the building, the Knicks, the Rangers, entertainment. You see some of the entertainment here, concerts. Just had a mega UFC fight here, which is something that's going to expand the envelope all over the place. Knicks game tonight, average franchise value in the NBA, $1.2 billion, by the way, according to Forbes, tripled in the last couple of years. Stout. Television money, even more stout. And frankly, the NBA is where it is. NHL, significant business. Entertainment, significant business as well. And at the top of the food chain as far as any valuations basketball-wise, New York Knicks, $3 billion, again, according to Forbes. Can't confirm or deny it, but it's a pretty significant number, obviously regardless of on-court quality, because we'll talk about a whole number of business issues that come into that. And the best guy to possibly talk about that issue, Jordan Solomon, Executive Vice President, Madison Square Garden Corporation, MSG Sports. Did I get that all right?
You did.
Thank you. How about that for an introduction? This is a heck of a building, by the way.
It's a great building, and it's a great time to be here. So it's in the middle of the afternoon. We have a game tonight at 7:30, and what you can see here is our Knicks City Dancers practicing for their opening number tonight that we do just before we introduce the players. Right, we take down the lights, and we've got a 3D court projection that takes place. It's pretty, it's an exciting day.
Well, it's an exciting day, but it also kind of leads into one of the big themes for the night. By the way, can you hear me? Are we okay? Everything good? Because that's what the NBA sounds like with 18,000 people in here. We have the ability to do this before this even starts tonight. You're an NBA guy. You understand what the NBA does as far as promoting its product. You got a sneak peek at what's happening here, but sports and entertainment really do mix. You can't really draw the line between the two anymore, can you?
Oh, no. This is entertainment, full stop. There's sports and entertainment together. And we spend a lot of time and energy making sure that our fans are entertained from when they get here and they're walking into the building to when the game ends. And it's what takes place on the court, what takes place in between the timeouts, what takes place before the game, as you can see with our City Dancers. We've got so much we have going on here just to make sure that our fans are having a terrific time. We recognize that it's an iconic venue, and we want to take advantage of all the various elements that we have and all the things that we can offer with the building and the technology here.
Probe a couple more issues before we actually start a tour at your discretion. Sure. Thanks a lot, and thanks to Ryan Watson, the PR guru of the world. He says no, but I'm just telling you, the bottom line is we had a last-minute great. This is a great organization, great people, and that's one of the reasons why this group will continue to be a model for all of professional sports. And so I guess one of the issues is, how does it relate to the quality on the court? The Knicks haven't been very good recently, no secret. And this is not an issue that depends on whether the Knicks succeed or not. We'd all love them to, but we have this term decouching in the industry now. You got to get people off their chairs and to the arena.
Right.
You have something that really transcends winning and losing. It's an entertainment experience.
It's an entertainment experience, and it's in an iconic venue in an iconic city. And so, we take very seriously what we really view as a community asset, which is our organization, our teams, and our building, and we treat it as such, right? And so when we have, whether the team is winning or losing, we're going to put on a first-class experience. We're going to make sure all of our fans who are here and at home enjoy watching our teams and can understand and feel the vibe and feel the excitement of the building.
Rick Horrow, Beyond the Scoreboard. Be back in a minute.
And now, today's General Steel building tip. Buy a large lot with a friend or family member that can be split into 2 smaller lots. Some of the most appealing properties may be much larger than what you want or can afford. Yet the seller may not be willing to break up a large parcel. So if you can share the costs with someone else, preferably someone you don't mind having as a neighbor, you may be able to pick up a great building site for a reasonable price. And now, a word from General Steel.
This is an alert. If your business or church is building this year, you're about to pay more than you should. And this could mean thousands of dollars more for your office, retail space, church, or warehouse. A General Steel building can save you as much as half the cost and time of similar conventional construction. And we're offering rebates of up to $20,000 to help you build today. Call General Steel for free information that could save you thousands. Call 866-95-STEEL. 866-95-STEEL. That's 866-95-STEEL.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 877-663-7126 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 877-663-7126 to take your call now. Call 877-663-7126. That's 877-663-7126. Again, 877-663-7126.
Rebuild or replace transmission, $3,200. Anti-lock brake system, $1,000. Rebuild or replace engine, $2,400. Truth is, once your manufacturer's warranty runs out, it's all on you. Every last cent. Get protection for covered repairs with a vehicle service contract from Toco Warranty. Unlike other companies, with Toco, there's no down payment, and the monthly payments are really affordable. Not sure how long you're keeping your car? At Toco, you can pay as you go. Keep your hard-earned cash and call Toco Warranty right now at 800-222-2313 to save big money on covered auto repairs. Prices vary by vehicle, but for about the cost of a tank of gas per month, a Toco plan has your back on expensive covered car repairs. Monthly payments are very affordable. Get your free quote now. Call Toco at 800-222-2313. That's 800-222-2313. 800-222-2313. Cancellation fee may apply. Subject to eligibility. Not available in Missouri and Washington. Waiting period and deductible apply. Coverage provided and administered by Warrantech Corporation or its affiliates. Not affiliated with any manufacturer or dealership. Visit TocoWarranty.com for complete terms and conditions.
Rick Horrow, Beyond the Scoreboard, serious show that doesn't take itself too seriously, but we're showcasing 2 arenas today on our show. Now we head east to Madison Square Garden. Jordan Solomon, the senior vice president of the Knicks, of the Rangers, but Madison Square Garden Sports, oversees all of that. The UFC events, the concerts, the conventions, the iconic arena, Radio City Music Hall, the smaller arena as well. He certainly can give us some perspective on Madison Square Garden Sports. Was at McKinsey & Company consulting, and then obviously took those considerable talents and went to the NBA. Jordan Solomon. People who don't remember the legacy I hope some of you are old enough to remember Dave DeBuscher and Willis Reed and Walt Frazier and Bill Bradley, but there may be some other people who don't. This building is the transformative building, but it is on the same spot, and it is Madison Square Garden. Yeah. How important was it to preserve the legacy and the history and the tradition of the Knicks?
Yeah, extremely important, and you can see as we walk around, I'll show you some of the historic pictures we have all over the building. We've got, obviously, in the rafters, a bunch of our retired numbers and our banners. The iconic roof remains as unique and exclusive as any building's roof in the world. And we spend a lot of time talking to internally and to our fans about what is the legacy. And so even on our opening night for our 70th anniversary, bringing back a bunch of our players representing each of the decades, or their families representing each of the decades of our 70 years. You have to do that. You have to teach people about the roots of the game, and it's actually our marketing slogan for this year that we believe is something that's going to last for many years is New York forever, and the concept being rooted that New York basketball is something that's really at the heart of the city, and people have always played basketball, and really the game has evolved in so many ways here in New York, and this notion that we are New Yorkers forever, whether you're here for a little bit of time and you go, New York stays with you, or you're here living forever, you are New Yorkers forever, and it lasts and stays with you. And so we think that campaign's been a pretty authentic landing spot for our fans and our players.
Last two answers, you said you were going to show us the building, and I think you're just teasing us, so why don't you show us the building?
All right, let's do it. So we'll leave this suite here.
And by the way, the Poobah executive producer, Stephanie Brumsley, if you see the camera tilting in weird places, that's because she's fallen. She's walking backwards through the door and only hitting it a little bit. So kudos.
So this is our Lexus Madison level of suites, and as part of the transformation we did a couple of years ago, we built out this level, really upped our game in terms of the quality of the suites. On this level, we've got about 50 of them just on the Madison level, and then I'll show you another exclusive area. But these suites are great. It's a great place for many of them are corporate partners of ours to host their clients and really enjoy it. But it's a cool spot. It's a great vantage point for our fans.
How sports-centric are the sales assets? So do you sell a Knicks piece, or do you sell these suites as first opportunity to buy tickets for each event in here? How does that work?
Good question. So our suites are, almost all of them are sold on a license basis. Essentially, you get access to every event that's here, every public event that is here. There are a few private events, for example, the Pope, that you don't get when the Pope came to visit, you don't get access to the Pope, unfortunately. But so Knicks, Rangers, concerts, shows. It's an unbelievable range of opportunities to come. We have over 300 events during the course of a year, which is outstanding. Last night, Kansas versus Duke comes down to a last-minute shot.
I'm a Duke fan, so I don't want to hear about it.
Right.
But I understand.
But it's amazing the types of things that come. Just this past weekend, UFC 205 was here. Yeah. An amazing event.
By the way, stop on that. Did that outstrip even your expectations?
I think. Look, it's hard to predict how those things will go, but I think it did in the sense that it broke our record for ticket sales in one evening. The crowd I was here for all of it was ruckus and excited, and at the same time for that type of an event.
Respectful?
So respectful, so amazing. Excited to be here.
Good for you.
Exciting, diverse crowd of folks from all over the world who came to see the Conor McGregor, etc. So a great event, great partner with UFC. And
by the way, what's going to happen now, based on Conor McGregor's equity demand, is any event you bring in MSG, the immediate next day is the people who played it are going to demand some equity. What do you think of that?
We'll
no comment.
We'll leave that to UFC.
No comment. Exactly. So continue with the event mix. So about 40. So 40 Nick non-playoff, 40 Ranger. And the rest of the mix generally?
Yeah, so it's 41 Knick and Ranger regular seasons, a few preseason games, and you throw in the playoffs. That accounts for a lot of it. Of course, the New York Liberty, our WNBA team here in the summer, which is terrific, and gets a terrific, lively crowd. We've got probably 100 concerts a year between our various artists. I mean, from Justin Bieber to Adele, and obviously Billy Joel has his residency here.
Yeah,
so he's
right.
playing, essentially once a month.
Is he still? Is he?
He's still
is
going,
he retired?
yeah.
Is he? He's kind of retired a number, right? That means his concert.
Well, I'll show it to you.
Okay,
yeah.
good.
We have a banner that tracks essentially how many shows he's got
done.
each night. So I think he's up to 79. We'll double check. But yeah, lots of shows, and then the amazing thing about the building that we're able to do is we have double headers. Careful. So we have double headers. So
Waiver. You okay with that?
Yeah.
All right.
So, for example, Sunday we've got a Knicks game at 12 and a Rangers game at 7, and it's in our.
What's it like at 4:00 here? Frenetic.
It's frenetic.
Yeah.
And we've got the best operations crew in the business.
Yeah.
And it's amazing what Hank Abadi and Rich Claffey, our general manager, and their teams, Bill Martino and others, are able to do, breaking down the court, taking it off, removing the seats, getting the ice. By the way, is always underneath, right? So the ice lives under some rubber. I have 2 little boys, 7 and 5. They love to come to games during a Knicks game, and there'll be little holes or cracks in the rubber, and they'll just put their finger in and feel how cold it is.
No condensation issues. I mean, the technology has gotten you past that.
Yeah,
right.
It works great. So we'll host doubleheaders, whether it's a college basketball game in the morning, and St. John's does this a lot, and then a Knicks game at night, or the most complex ones are these Knicks at noon, Rangers at 7. It's not a very long turnaround time.
Right.
And
But you do it because
they're doesn't go to overtime.
Well, A, and B, you get marquee television matchups, hopefully on both of those. So you're going to get in both.
Right.
contexts.
It'll depend, but we we want to make sure we find dates for our teams to be here when they can be, and it's one of the things we're able to pull off and make work. And it's a busy day for a lot of our folks, but it works well.
Transformation-wise, has the conversion become easier and more efficient because of the latest arena technology that's in buildings now? I remember some of the old days where you take the wood in and you take the wood out. It's a lot different today, isn't it?
So, and I think also the courts have evolved in terms of the simplicity of putting those things together, and our capabilities have evolved. But the transformation helps for sure. And just while we're here, let me just show you this. This is kind of a unique space. So we call this our Madison Club. It's presented by Foxwoods Casino, and so the Madison Club. We'll walk over here a little closer to the court if it's okay. This is a little bit different. So it's a trend that's emerging in sports, but we did it here during the transformation several years ago. So you can see here, this is what we call if you will, a theater box. And so what you have here are these kind of seats, two at a time or 4 at a time, where you can sit here, enjoy the game with your own TV, a little bit extra space, and then behind you here, which obviously it's the afternoon, so the food isn't set up yet, but this is an all-inclusive food and beverage experience, high-end food. It's great. People love these kind of seats. And this is you can buy these seats for Knicks and Rangers and concerts. So.
And you can mix with people if you want to. If not, if you just want to be with somebody, you get your food and you sit there with them.
Right. So it's a great corporate entertaining option for people who, don't necessarily have 20 people entertain a night, but they want to entertain 2 or 4. It's a great option and a unique space. It's also a great vantage point for both of us.
You've personally been here for a little over a year?
About a year, yeah.
So are there things that, I know you're going to be positive about the building, and you should be, but did this building check off all of the boxes as you've come in here? Anything you would do differently?
Look, there's nothing I would do differently. I think what we'd always look to do is, what else can we do to add on?
Yeah, right.
What else can we do to refresh, to keep adding great experiences for our fans? So we're always looking to figure out, can we add more suites? Can we add more? Another unique thing here at the Garden is what we call our bunker suites. These are our suites where they're actually built underneath the seats. So if you look at the main section of seating to the left, there are suites built in underneath, and then we call those bunker suites. We call them they're an espresso event level suites, and those are terrific because you can walk right underneath, go down and get a glass of water or a beer or a popcorn, and come right back up. And we're always trying to look to see, hey, can we fit more of those in? It's such a high demand product.
And of course, all new arenas and stadiums. Not to say it's a great idea, because previously, as you guys can see in the audience, that's wasted space. Right, and there's nothing you could do with it, but you guys turned it into something that people want to be in.
Wasted space. Look, I wasn't here during the transformation and the full design of it all, but the amount of time and energy put in by our architects and our design team and my colleagues here in thinking through how to utilize every square foot of this building was just outstanding. And so there are very few spaces we look at and say that wasn't a good decision, and those. But we're always looking for ways to improve the fan experience, improve our clients' experience.
Probably a little Pollyannish, but I grew up in the industry, so I'm going to say it. It's my show, so I'm going to say it. But it's like you have the Taj Mahal, and you're going to be able to renovate it, and don't screw it up, right? So the next Taj Mahal is got to preserve some of the best of the past, but make people remember it's iconic. Yeah. So who are those people? We know, but you tell me who those people are.
Right. So Red Holtzman on the left is our iconic coach, and he's up in the rafters, and that's Willis Reed on the right. So just a great iconic picture of the two of them, and you'll see just the number. It's amazing the types of people who've come through here. Right. This is JFK with former Labor Secretary Francis Perkins. You see Albert Einstein on the left here, right, with Governor Herbert Lehman.
Look at it, but time out. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
look at his hair.
Right.
Are you kidding with that hair? That is really good, ladies and gentlemen. I will tell you that if you guys want to get into the hair cutlery, barber place industry, you come to the right place.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. We just pulled his microphone off. But look, I mean, who are these folks here?
So it looks like Mick Jagger's there, and Jerry Hall. They were there for our Grand Prix Masters tennis tournament.
Yes.
We host tennis here too.
Yeah.
Serena Williams was here just a few months ago.
Yep.
So the types of people, and then we also, on a nightly basis, we've got our celebrity row that we partner with Douglas Elliman, and here obviously the Democratic Convention in 1976 was here, where this is Ted Kennedy's congratulating Jimmy Carter. So the types of things that have taken place in this building and its predecessor even before with this location is just incredible. So,
do you feel a, and then we'll get into some of the nuts and bolts. Do you feel a sense of, awe is the wrong word, sense of responsibility? You're a trustee of a really iconic building that has memories for so many, fifth generation, sixth generation New Yorkers, international too. I remember when I was here with my grandfather, and you got to make sure you don't screw it up.
Yeah,
right.
We preserve that legacy, and I personally take that responsibility, on me very seriously. And that means every night we're looking at our security lines. How do you help people get in faster and get in comfortably with, of high quality, and make sure that everyone's having a terrific experience every night. And it's
Jordan Solomon, interesting comments on what can happen down the road with arenas as they get renovated. Certainly the public money that was spent is minimal, and the private dollars, a significant return on investment for all of New York. Rick Horrow, Beyond the Scoreboard. Be back with Bust, Boom, and Hope in a minute.
We all know healthcare has changed drastically. It's quite the puzzle to sort through your options and find a health insurance plan that's affordable and maximizes your benefits. And you're now required by law to have health insurance, or you may pay a tax penalty. So let the Health Markets Insurance Agency help you. They offer plans from over 120 different companies and can even help you obtain government subsidies. Let them do all the research for you and show you how affordable health insurance can be, a service that's at no extra cost to you. Call now and learn your options to find affordable health insurance. 800-614-1242. 800-614-1242. 800-614-1242. 800-614-1242. Health Markets Insurance Agency is the DBA or assumed name of Insphere Insurance Solutions, Inc., which is a licensed insurance agency in all 50 states and D.C. Not all agents are licensed to sell all products. Service availability varies by state.
Attention, if you've had hip replacement surgery and suffered any complications, you need to listen to this important legal alert. Major manufacturers have made billions of dollars available to award legal claims for defective hip implants. Thousands of these defective hip implants have been recalled by various manufacturers. If you've had hip surgery and suffered complications, you may be entitled to receive significant compensation to help you deal with your complications. You may be eligible to receive money to help with medical expenses, lost wages, bruises and pain and suffering. Protect yourself by hiring an experienced trial attorney. Our partner law firms are experts in hip replacement surgery lawsuits. Find out now if you're eligible to receive any of the $2.5 billion hip settlement fund. Call now for free information. 800-296-1360. 800-296-1360. 800-296-1360. That's 800-296-1360.
Fanatics.com is the place to get your favorite licensed college football fan gear. It's also the place to win the hottest bowl tickets for the season. Pull out your phone and Shazam this ad now for your chance to win an all-inclusive bowl game experience for two. Plus $250 to deck yourself out in officially licensed gear from Fanatics. Inside, you'll also find Fanatics merchandise, apps, and more. If you want to be on the sidelines of the biggest bowl games, Shazam now. If you're a sports fan and you love your team, you gotta check out Fanatics.com. Fanatics is the best place for fan gear from the most trusted brands. Authentic fan gear from the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA college football and basketball. Jerseys, hoodies, t-shirts, hats, collectibles, and more. It's the world's largest collection of official fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. Everything officially licensed. Go to Fanatics.com for gear and show love for your teams this season. Fanatics. Love never loses.
Beyond the Scoreboard, sports professor Rick Horrow, a serious show that really doesn't take itself too seriously, but with the economy and the presidential election and the stock market, who knows what's going on? Let's give you some perspective with bust, boom, and hope. The unfortunate, the good, and the hopeful in the economy. First, bust. Many professional athletes followed Colin Kaepernick's lead on kneeling or sitting during the national anthem. Buccaneers wide receiver Mike Evans will protest in other ways. He will receive reversing course on his decision to protest the national anthem and will stand with his teammates, opting to find what he calls more effective ways to communicate his message. Bottom line is, it's up to each individual to figure out how they want to protest as this works through. How about boom? Well, the Phoenix Coyotes are in the works to build a new $400 million arena in Tempe. Current plans, the team will pay half the incurred costs while local taxpayers cover the rest. Deal would make the Coyotes one of the first tenants in Arizona State University's athletic facilities district. Deal far from complete. And Phoenix Mayor Greg Stanton says his thinking hasn't changed. Building a third professional arena in this market doesn't make sense, even with public dollars. So the boom is the announcement. It's interesting to see where it goes. And then finally, hope. Topps Company, one of the preeminent creators and marketers of digital and physical sports cards, capped a record-setting first year with Topps Now platform. It announced a fast-growing on-demand platform surpassing 500,000 cards sold in the first year, exceeding the expectations of the program. Via the platform, fans able to order an unlimited amount of cards in 24 hours, something they've wanted for a long time, they said in talking about the deal. Director of New Product Development, E-commerce Marketplace, Jeff Heckman, says we finally refined the model. It's exceeded our wildest expectations. 9,000 sets of Cubs World Series sets since the team won the title. Looks like the Cubs have had positive benefits in a lot of different ways, not just on Chicago. That's our show for today. Chris Granger talking about the Sacramento Kings. Jordan Solomon talking about the New York Knicks and MSG. And we're all interested in having a bountiful and wonderful Thanksgiving. And please join us next week when we go Beyond the Scoreboard.